Hi, this is Kingsley Oturu, and this is Global Climate Talks. Uh, Conversation of today are solutions for tomorrow. Today I'm going to be talking about the climate change crisis and what we can do to fight it and achieve net zero. If you're in the UK, you would have heard about the current heat wave moving across the UK and across most of Europe. And this as a result of climate emissions. Those are greenhouse gases that have been released into the atmosphere, and these form a kind of greenhouse effect. They form a ceiling in the atmosphere, providing high pressure, trapping heat that come down on the earth, giving rise to heat, extreme heat, floods, and other climate emergencies. But the good news is that a lot of the climate change is a result of human behavior. And so by changing our behaviors, we can actually be able to fight climate change. So in terms of number one, our consumption of goods and services, number two, transportation, number three, our feeding habits, and number four, our habits and practices within our homes. These are some of the core things that increase our carbon emissions. So society can adapt to climate change, but we can also mitigate the impact of climate change by changing our behavior. So what are some of the things that we can do? So number one, in terms of consumption of goods and services, we can ensure that the goods that we buy are A-rated products. For the highest rated products, A triple plus. So your fridges, your televisions, your white goods, always ensure that you're buying A-rated products, and if possible, A triple plus. The lower you go, like B, C, D, E, the less energy efficient it is. So you will see that grading there. That grading is talking about the energy efficiency. But the more energy efficient it is, usually the more expensive it becomes. So secondly, in terms of travel, whenever we drive our cars, we burn fossil fuels. So these include things like petrol or diesel. Whenever we travel by air, we burn fossil fuels. So we can reduce our use of cars, use the bus, use taxis, use pool cars where possible, avoid international travel by air where possible. By doing this, we can be able to reduce our carbon footprint because we'll be reducing the amount of fossil fuels that are being released into the atmosphere. In our homes, when we cook using gas, we also release carbon emissions. When we use electricity, we release carbon emissions. So by turning off our lights when we leave the home, we can be able to firstly reduce our carbon emission, also reduce costs. I did that in my own home. I turned off the TV station where you have like the Xbox, the TV, your hi-fi, and I was able to save £30 a month. That's about £360 a year, which you can use for your holiday. So simply turning the electricity off, turning your light off, turning your computer off, turning your light bulbs off, all this will help to, on the one hand, reduce your carbon emissions and then at the same time fight climate change and also help in the cost of living as well. Also in the home, using renewable energy sources like solar panels, windmills can help to reduce carbon emissions and help to fight climate change. So in terms of heating, there are some new devices, what we call the heat pumps. So you have the ground source heat pumps and the air source heat pumps. So I can put a difference in the two in another video, but they are more energy efficient. They're like fridges that work in reverse. So they heat up the home and they reduce the carbon emissions that are being released into the atmosphere because you're not burning fossil fuels like gas. And also things like insulation, making sure that we insulate our homes and even our windows as well, making sure that we're using double glaze, triple glaze glassing makes our homes to be more energy efficient. Then in terms of our feeding, when we have more plant-based diets rather than animal-based diet, firstly it improves our health and also at the same time reduces our carbon emissions. I can go into more details in another video. Then exercising as well, walking rather than taking the car also improves our health and at the same time helps to fight climate change. So in a nutshell, there are no easy answers, but there are certain things that we can do. The climate crisis is a big challenge driven by carbon emissions and is produced by human activities in society. By raising awareness, collaborating, and making energy efficient choices in our consumption, travel, housing, and feeding, we can reduce our carbon emissions and help to achieve net zero. So thank you so much for watching. If you have comments, please put it in the chat box below. If you've received something, if you've received some important information as well, you can also like, share, leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Remember, conversations today leads to solutions tomorrow. Keep safe and have a lovely day. Thank you.